Where do you see things going in the next year or so? Under what conditions do you see market values stabilizing?
Thank you, Chairman Crapo. Much of the ongoing volatility that we're seeing, I think, stems from a struggle to find a level for something brand new. So when tulips were first introduced to the Netherlands from Arabia, and they became very popular amongst the rich set, it was hard to find a price, and a lot of irrational exuberance pervaded those markets. We saw volatility in equity markets when trading joint stock companies became a new phenomenon, the South Sea and Mississippi bubble. And we saw volatility in the dot-com companies when the internet was brand new. Finding a level is very difficult. Fortunately, we are now beginning to see institutional investment coming online with respect to Bitcoin, and eventually other cryptocurrencies as well. We've got CFTC-regulated Bitcoin derivatives markets, and that means that we'll have, I think, better sell-side research from the institutional investment class, and there'll be the possibility for people to take short positions and rationalize the market. Now, key to this effort is more institutional-grade products that are regulated by the proper authorities. So we have CFTC-regulated derivatives. We could use ETFs regulated by the SEC, where there's institutional-grade custody and where there are known accounting standards and where purchasers know where they stand. We could also use better custodians in general. Comptroller Otting at the Office of the Comptroller of the Currency has revitalized the process of offering fintech charters to new companies offering new services that don't look like traditional banks. A nationally chartered bank that custodies cryptocurrency is something that I think would bring more rationality to these markets.
I think, Mr. Valkenburg, it's one thing for tech billionaires or the Winklevoss twins to be investing in a complex and poorly regulated market, but I'm concerned about families who risk their savings. What is the profile of the average person who's investing in this market, whether it's Bitcoin or buying into ICOs and other unestablished technologies?
So the profile of your average investor is technologically sophisticated because you have to deal with things like private and public keys, or at least understand how the company that you're working with is securing them if it's Coinbase or some other exchange. And it's usually younger people who are interested in these new alternatives, perhaps because they feel like the legacy financial system has in some ways disappointed them and they're looking for alternatives, I think in good faith. Now, that said, are they safe? Are they being protected? Are there good regulations in place? Exchanges in the U.S. are regulated by the federal government for anti-money laundering purposes. So FinCEN was one of the first out of the gate. America led here, and the rest of the world needs to catch up. FinCEN said, exchanges are money services businesses. We need KYC. We need suspicious activity reporting. From a consumer protection standpoint, though, they're regulated by the states. You have to get a money transmission license in every state where you have customers, assuming the state regulator for money transmission licensing has opined on the question of whether cryptocurrency exchanges fit their definition of money transmission or don't. That regime is not entirely rational. These are natively global payments networks, and you're going state by state to get licenses from the proper authorities. And you're going to have 53 or so criminal background checks. The next one is not going to make you more or less secure for your customers. Also, money transmission licensing regimes, they look for custody risk, which is important to safeguard against, but they don't deal in other investor protection concerns like manipulation and transparency in markets. I think it's about time that we had a serious policy conversation in this country about whether that state-by-state approach is reasonable and whether it's the best way to protect consumers. Federal preemption and an alternative federal license for these companies, perhaps one that also polices for market manipulation and supervises for that, would be, I think, a wise choice that would make America a leader and protect our consumers.
Thank you.